So it's not for kids.
Well, Thomas, it seems to me we have a murder on our hands. I see behind me the year 2025, and it inconspicuously seems to not have a heartbeat. We must find the origin, the source of this crime, and I think it is up to you and me to discover this.
Okay.
Shit, you really not playing in the space, huh?
I'm really unclear as to where this is going.
I'm doing a Benoit Blanc.
I get what you're doing. I just don't know where it's going.
Because 25 is dead, and now we're in 26. We've killed 25. Good riddance. You know what? It's fine. I'll just play in my corner. I'll do my little murder mysteries. I did just see Wake Up Dead Man, so that might be affecting things. But
what is that?
It's the new Knives Out.
Oh.
It was good. You're a Rian Johnson hater, though, because you only saw episode 8, and you're like, that's all I need. That's all I need out of Rian Johnson.
First of all, I saw Looper and was singing its praises long before anyone even knew who the fuck Rian Johnson was. Okay, so I went and saw episode 8 with big expectations.
Brick is good.
I think episode 8 is the best of the 3 new Star Wars. We've been over this.
Oh, yeah, totally. I agree with you there.
I'll gladly take on... I know that the B plot is stupid as fuck, but have you seen the other 2 movies?
At least 8 tries to do stuff, and it's, like, funny.
It tries and fails, and at least it tried because the other 2 just failed. That's my point, right?
I agree. Okay. And it has the greatest scene in all of Star Wars, the blue milk scene where they milk the alien and the alien looks at Rey and is like, please have this old man stop milking me.
Yeah.
That scene will live on forever. Rian Johnson has contributed. And you know that the producers, the Disney execs came in and they're like, there's no way we're leaving in 3 minutes of Luke milking an alien and then Rey just looking at the alien awkwardly. Somehow Rian Johnson looked back at those execs and was like, what was the Costco thing? Like,
allegedly the CEO, I think, of Costco was like, I will kill you if you change the price of the fucking hot dog in a board meeting. Something like
so
that.
Rian Johnson was just like, I will kill you if you try to cut the scene of the blue milk.
It's like from the jump hilarious that Rian Johnson was like, my favorite scene in OG Star Wars is when Luke drinks some blue ass milk for no fucking reason. And
we need to know the origin.
Yeah, exactly. I have to know what animal that came from. And like that someone on his team presumably came up with that. And he was like, I love it.
Well, I love it too, because you're like, why did he go to this secluded planet? That scene explains it. He picked that planet because it has the animal that produces the milk that he likes. Milk.
I assume it tastes like Pepsi or something. I would do the same thing. If I was like, I'm going full hermit, I'm going where like the Pepsi cows are in the galaxy.
Welcome to Shelf Stable, a podcast celebrating board games that have stood the test of time. If you thought we were going to do anything differently this year, then you are wrong. I'm your host, Kenny Katayama.
We're doing the exact same things this year, Kenny, and I'm the other host, Tom Bowers. Today, the topic is resolutions and the pantry. I'm not in love with that name, but we're gonna set that aside.
We'll talk about it.
We're gonna resolve some things. We're gonna figure out what happened, and we're gonna figure out what we're doing next in this episode. Before we talk about that, we're just going to talk about, what we've been playing recently. Anything come to mind?
Yeah, Tom, it's been a ways since this, but before I was out, we got to finish our game of Twilight Imperium 4th edition, 2017. Dane Beltrami, Corey Knizia, Corey Konieczka. I can never pronounce Corey's name.
Is it not
Corey
Konieczka?
K?
Like something like that?
Corey K, Christian T. Petersen, Fantasy Flight. This is a very famous, very long, very epic 4X-ish space negotiation game. If you haven't heard of it, I don't know what to tell you. This was our first time finishing Twilight Imperium. I had played it twice before. unfinished. Tom, I think same or once. I don't remember, but both of us had tried, hadn't gone very far. We did it in 2 days that were spread out. We sat down, played it in person.
For the first and last time. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
I mean, yeah, like, I know you came out of it, you're like, that was the game. I was a little bit more positive than you, but I don't know. Not everybody listens to the Patreon content. So do you want to cover some of those bits real quick?
Well, sure.
About the negotiation?
Like, the selling point, I think, for a lot of people with Twilight Imperium is that it's funny we're just talking about Star Wars, because people say all the time, it's Star Wars, the board game. You get to experience and create your own kind of Star Wars type of like story in a certain way. And I sort of see where people are coming from. Maybe you haven't heard that as much as I have.
I heard it a little bit.
It's definitely about like a big story sort of kind of being told. And it's about the way that like you interact with the other players and the asymmetries and blah, blah, blah. Got all of that from this largely, but I don't have like, I think, the nostalgia for it that seemed maybe somewhat required to really feel 100% in love with this. I'm not sure maybe if that's it, or if it's just that the things that this game is doing, I found other games were doing in ways that interest me more, such as Hegemony. I know that Hegemony is probably a game that I've talked about a little too much for it not being on the stability in the stability zone, but the asymmetry and the economics of Hegemony are more interesting to me, which is probably kind of funny to some people because I'm sure it's very boring, than the economic game of Twilight Imperium. And then there's Eclipse, which kind of does the space battle part of stuff in ways that I think are a little more to my taste. And also New Game Alert arcs. So I don't know. I just think Twilight Imperium is kind of like, it's like Lord of the Rings in a certain way. Like you have to appreciate it for what it did and how it impacted everything. There's probably high fantasy literature out there that's more suited to your tastes. And I think board games have taken the best of Twilight Imperium and they've iterated in ways that I think are more to my taste. That's what I'm trying to get at, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. So I think a lot of folks agree with your take. And if I were to summarize it, you let me know if this is wrong, but it's kind of like there's a lot of interesting things in TI, but other games have either refined it or just have similar analogies that are more rewarding. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of folks agree with you. I think another take is just TI is bad. It's overglazed and there's a lot of flaws with it. I don't agree with either of them. So I don't agree with you and I don't agree with that take either. For one, I think that TI is doing something that truly no other game does in the space.
Yes.
And it's providing an experience that you can't really get out of any other game, even if there's some analogies amongst its individual components or mechanisms. I also think there's a lot of quality here. I don't know how the other versions play other than 3rd edition, but I can say at least 3rd and 4th, like there's a lot of really good stuff going on, even though there's some rough edges.
Yeah.
However, I still don't find myself wanting to play it again for a different reason, which is just I don't think that its length justifies what you get out of it. And that's a personal thing. I think other people don't have that experience. It requires the narrative arc and the length that it currently has, but I don't find myself enjoying every bit of it. If we're trying to draw analogies to like 18xx, for example, I have no problem sitting down and playing hours and hours of 18xx because I feel engaged the whole time. In Twilight Imperium, it felt a little rote at a certain point. And I know that that's not the case for everyone, but for me, I was kind of like, we're still doing this, huh? And it didn't feel tense. It felt a little bit exhausting. I don't really interface with the things that people find really engaging in that game. We talked to great length about the negotiation, and I think that's a part of it. If you like the kind of negotiation it has, then you'll be captivated the whole time. It means you're engaged when it's not your turn. If you're like us and you're less compelled by that type of negotiation, I think it can start to become a little samey over time.
Yeah, I want to say I basically will just co-sign everything you just said. The gist of it is, it's not just that it's an hours-long game. it is an hours-long game that is asking me to pay attention to things that I'm not very interested in paying attention to. And for someone who might have an attention disorder, like that hurts even more in a certain sense, right?
Yeah.
Without having played something like Shikoku, I feel like that tension, the waiting somewhat impatiently for your turn because you see a through line and you're digging into it. I did ultimately get that experience at the very, very end of Twilight Imperium, and it just felt like the first 6 hours were like a nearly random buildup toward the final tense end. And I just don't need that much edging in my board games, I guess.
Twilight Imperium, the ultimate gooner experience. Heard here.
That's what we're comparing it to on this show. Yeah. I don't know. It really, it's just, there are games that are as long that ask as much of my attention that I think I would be more interested in the rewards and the outcomes of than this. Invite me to your game at a convention, I'll probably say no, but maybe 1 out of 4 times I would say yes to this if I didn't have anything else on my calendar.
I am interested in playing this online. Like I said, I didn't have any shortcomings or issues with the gameplay itself. It was very much just the time to reward ratio. I'm kind of interested to do like a pass and play because to me that feels like it gives me the pacing to think about my turns, then turn off for a little bit.
I think for me, I'm just like less interested in the politicking in particular. Like I would just be so worn out by spreading that out over days and days, having secret side conversations and direct messages with all these different people.
That's fair. Yeah, there's a risk there. That's TI. Spent a lot of time talking about it, but I think it's fair because it was one we had a lot of thoughts on.
It's a big Chungus game at the top of the big Chungus list on Board Game Geek, and so it deserves a little bit of airtime. We're going to pivot really fucking hard off of that, though, and I'm going to talk about a game called Toddles-Bobbles, although you might also know it as a Nonja Monja. This is from 2010, designed by Alena Lebedeva, and published by Simple Rules.
Well, this is another like 4X space battle game, right? One player plays the Toddle, the other one plays the Bobble.
Yeah, exactly. No, Nonja Monja is what I'm going to be calling it here, is like literally a slap deck game. It's slapjack, but funny, in the same realm as Jungle Speed, and I assume you haven't played this one. What happens is every turn you flip over a card that has a kooky-looking character, and you give it a name. Then the next player goes, and they flip over another kooky-looking character. It's a different character. They give it a different name. What happens is that eventually you hit a character you've seen before. You have to slap it and remember the name at the same time. Super simple, but very hilarious because the names can be funny. So there's like that creativity being baked in by the group. And then, of course, like rushing to slap something in the middle of the table has generally been a good time in most of the games where that has been a mechanic. And the nicest thing about this really is that you don't need to buy it at all. In fact, you can just draw your own doodles and then copy them like 12 times each.
Do that print and play.
Exactly. And that's exactly what my girlfriend's sister-in-law did.
How would you compare it to like Anomia and Jungle Speed? Like where does it stand as far as, are they all different? Do you have a favorite?
I think this one is more kid-friendly than Anomia. I think I slightly prefer Jungle Speed, and it does almost the same thing, mostly because there's a bit of vagary with the way that you slap the center of the table and recite the name of the character. Okay, did the person who slapped first get it, even if they didn't have the name of the character right away, and stuff like that? Like, it's like the timing is a little non-specific, which can be kind of hard to arbitrate.
Yeah.
I'd say this has the same difficulty scale as Jungle Speed with like better meme potential. That's kind of the advantage it has.
And call your monster Kiki.
Yeah, exactly. You can be like, this is Poggers, and then next time it comes out, everyone goes Poggers and they're like slapping the table at the same time. So it's like really funny.
Yeah, I'll be interested in playing that one. Tom, I've been playing a lot of solo of Fine Sand from 2018. This is designed by Friese, 2F Spiel. Fine Sand is part of the Fable series. I think it's the second game in the series for those who are familiar with Fabled Fruit. The Fable series is like Legacy Light. You have a deck of changing cards, and in between each round, you're going to introduce 3 cards and remove 3 cards. And each player is going to have access to the same set. So if you think of like, if you were playing Dominion, if like the market of 10 cards you had available, you just got rid of 3, and the next game you committed to playing with 3 new ones that were randomly selected. That's kind of the vibe with Fine Sand. I did the 10 game campaign of this solo. And I had a pretty decent experience with it. It is like if you took Race for the Galaxy and pared it down to its most essential components. So each card, you need to discard cards to play into your tableau. And then the cards in your tableau either allow you to draw more cards at your upkeep, keep more cards, or build more cards out. And almost every card in the tableau contributes to some kind of thing related to that. So really, it's like, you took Race and you took out all the extra stuff, and it was just the part where you get to settle planets by discarding X cards. That's like pretty much what this game is. Yeah, there's not a lot there at first, but as you rotate through the cards, you're going to see new things that play completely differently and kind of mess with that structure. Not chaotically. It's not a Carl Chuddik game. It's very minute changes, but there's still enough to kind of keep it interesting. The only thing I'll say with this one is like after playing it through like and exploring all the cards, I don't know how much staying power it has. But at the same time, if you've played a game like 10 times, you've already played it more than you've played a lot of the games in your collection. So yeah, I'm kind of happy with experiencing it that way. And that's how a lot of people feel about like legacy games in general. So I'd say this one is well worth playing, experiencing everything it has to offer, and then passing it on to the next person. Kind of surprised with how concise and still enjoyable it was. My take on Fine Sand.
So what you're saying is I get to keep this one from you, right?
Yeah. And then you can double it and hand it to the next person.
Yes. Like grains of sand.
I'm always interested by Friedemann Friese designs. He does some wacky stuff. And I think you and I have had some pretty good experiences.
It's true. Friedemann Friese.
Fine Sand. Okay,
well, speaking of legends of the board game design world, I played a Reiner Knizia game, Kenny.
Who's that?
And it's pretty funny that I'm kind of doubling up this week with like draw from a center deck card games. Nonja Monja. Now we've got Dump the Skunk, more commonly known perhaps as LLAMA, which is written like an acronym. Does anyone know what that stands for?
It's something in German about being the one to get rid of your cards or something. It's like a pun.
Okay. For anyone who hasn't played this, I'm going to describe it to you real quick. You are basically playing Uno in a sense where you can play the same number or the next number up to 6. And then after 6 comes LLAMA, or in my case, a skunk.
We talked about a base 12 system. Maybe we need a base LLAMA system.
Yeah, exactly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 LLAMA. LLAMA 1, LLAMA 2, LLAMA 3.
Exactly. And then it cycles over. The thing is that the llamas are worth like 10 points. So they're very ideal to not be in your hand. And every time it's your turn, you kind of have the decision to play a card, draw a card, or make one. And this is a very subtle difference from Uno. You can just quit. That changes the texture of this completely because you're ultimately trying to dump your hand, especially the skunks, which is why the Dump the Skunk name, I think, makes a ton of sense for Americans anyway, or English-speaking people. The thing is that if your hand is at a point where you don't think it can get any better, you can just say like, I'm going to stop here, right? So you have that added push your luck element, and it just gives it that delicious edge over Uno, while still being literally as approachable and playable as Uno. And yep. I think as we talked on the show before, apparently you can just crush at this if you understand probably something about the odds. I don't know. It's a really cool, really fun game. Highly recommend. I mean, it'll only take 5 minutes of your time and you'll be like, wow, Knizia, he did it again.
Yeah, the thoughts on this one are a little polarizing when it comes to the critics. I think we're definitely in the camp of like, it's good. I haven't heard a lot of people say it's mid. They either are like, this is terrible or this is great. And I just think it takes a very familiar formula and makes it extremely fun. Like it unlocks the missing thing, in my opinion.
Well, you know what else, Kenny? I'll add a spicy hot take for our listeners out here. It's better than Monopoly Deal. And you
Whoa,
know
you're
I ain't saying that lightly.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's impressive. It's shorter than Monopoly Deal for sure.
It is also shorter on average, yeah.
Do you think that llamas in Germany are like really stinky?
Oh, I think llamas in real life are stinky. Have you ever seen Napoleon Dynamite? Like that thing probably did not smell good.
So what you're saying is for a US audience, they were like, let's just make them skunks so that these stupid Americans will understand.
That you have to get rid of them. They did it because children kept playing the original llama and they'd be like, no, I want the llamas. And then like their parents would be like, you're ruining my game.
You might not be wrong.
Yeah.
100 games to play before you die.
All right, Kenny, it's the part of the podcast where we talk about the 100 games that you are required by law to play before you turn 100 years old and die. Game number 59
knock,
on
knock.
that list.
Grim Reaper's at the door.
Watch out. Get these done, okay? Don't sleep on this list. Number 59 on the list is Clank Legacy, Acquisitions Incorporated from 2019, squeaking in with the shelf stable. This is designed by Andy Clautice and Paul Dennen, published by Direwolf. Kenny, why the frick is this on the list?
Why didn't you put Pandemic Legacy? Why didn't you put Risk Legacy? Shut up.
Oh.
We're putting Clank Legacy because it gets to the core of what's fun about legacy games, the fastest and the most effectively. Clank is fine. I'm just going to put that out there. It's an enjoyable game. It's especially enjoyable when the board changes. So, Catacombs and Clank Legacy, I would say, are a tier above the original and the space one. But really, the thing that Clank Legacy does so well is it's only 10 sessions, maybe 11, depending on something that happens. There's no, you have to beat the session. If you don't beat it, you have to go back and play again. Throughout every session, you're constantly tearing cards, putting stickers, unlocking new things, opening letters, discovering new things that you can do in the game. And it feels simultaneously progressive and natural in a way that really speaks truly to what a legacy game is supposed to be. So I don't even think it's necessarily the best legacy game, but it's the most legacy game, in my opinion. And I think that's why it's the one that I put in this particular slot. I find that a lot of legacy games, they can either be overly long or they can not really lean into what is the reason that you're doing this in the first place. Like maybe they'll just introduce a mechanism per session and you have to wait until the end of the session to know what the next one is. Clank Legacy is not like that. It also doesn't take itself very seriously. And I was a little trepidatious, I should say, about that because I was like, oh boy, here we go. Here's that Archer humor. Here's that South Park edginess.
Archer.
But no, it ended up being both witty and tasteful. I was very surprised by that. I was actually laughing at some of the jokes that were in there.
Wait, you're telling me a board game did comedy and it was actually funny?
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to be writing home about these jokes, but they're they're somewhat good. And also they're not too much. I don't think they tried to overwhelm with humor. They only sprinkled it in where it made sense. And I think that's a great deal of restraint for a game that's trying to sell itself as being part of a franchise that's all about doing bits.
Yeah,
I was pleasantly surprised by the lack of cringe and the overall sense of humor.
They dodged the Whedonification. That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a little bit of it. I don't want people to play it and be like, what is he talking about?
Right.
But it's the right dose, in my opinion.
I'd love to try this one out. I still actually have an unfinished copy of Pandemic Legacy and an unstarted copy of Pandemic Legacy. So I'm kind of the wrong person at the moment for this, but
yeah, we can compare notes eventually. And then after you finish those ones, you can hop in and see how it is. There's not so much more I can say without spoiling things. I really don't want to spoil any part of this game. I just really think that it leans into what a legacy game is about, and that is the reason it's on the list. Clank Legacy, Acquisitions Incorporated.
Hell yeah. Okay, enough bullshitting, enough yapping. It's time to get serious, Kenny. It's time to get so for real because it's the part of the episode that people come back to week after week year over year.
Whoa.
New year, meat and potatoes, the first meat and potatoes of 2026. Here it is, our resolutions. Did we meet them? Did we fall perhaps a little short? Will we make the same mistakes next year?
I could feel the hesitation of even saying the sentence.
All right, so what happened 2025? What went wrong?
Speak for yourself, yo. Let's cover mine first real quick.
Yeah. Let's start with you.
My goal was to play every game that's a 7 or higher rated on my BGG collection. And there weren't too many I had to do. It was like 10 or 11 or something. And I played all of them. And I'm glad I did because some of them ended up being not as good as I remembered. Blood Bowl, we talked about last episode, that was a 7. And I think I ended up bringing it down to 6 and ultimately getting rid of it. So I'm glad I got to reevaluate whether or not they were there. I had already played all my 8 and ups. So I was like, let's just get a play of every game in my collection that I haven't played since I started tracking plays on BGG. It was a good experience. There was a debate over whether I should do this for everything else. I think I have a few 6s in my collection. I'm not actually going to put that as one of my resolutions because I don't think it's worth it. I'd rather get more plays of the games I really enjoy. Usually the reason I have a 6 in my collection, there's like some special reason, right? Like it's a game that is a classic that I like playing with people who are newer, or it's a game that someone else really likes, so I'm keeping it for them.
Yeah. I just have the AVGN lyrics stuck in my head now for this for some reason. Just like, these the shitty games that suck ass. Like, you know. That's...
Yeah. Yeah, so I'd rather get more plays of the games I really enjoy than the few games left that I quote unquote haven't played in my collection. So
sure.
To be clear, I have played them. I just haven't played them since I started tracking. The next one I had was play 10 new Konieczkas.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, Tom, I did play those Konieczkas. I landed at 33 new Konieczkas played this year.
Knizia maxing.
Yeah, I Knizia maxed. Some were good and some were not so good.
Which ones were the not good ones?
I mean, yeah, we can go into it a little bit. So highlights, games that I hadn't played yet that were really big highlights. I would say for sure Samurai.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any surprise there.
You like Samurai too?
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I also really liked Cascadero, surprisingly. That's one that's like not as high on people's list, but I really, really enjoyed it for the same reasons that I like some of the other tile placers. Another highlight for me was Nyakuza. I didn't think I would like Nyakuza just based on reading the rules, or I thought it would be like a subversion of some of his other games, but it ended up really having its own DNA to me. I know you weren't like as crazy about it, but you still were like, it's good. But yeah, I don't know. Nyakuza really stood out to me. Some of the worst ones, Carcassonne in the Castle. We already talked about that. Relationship Tightrope, which we didn't talk about on the cast, but that's a whole can of worms I don't even want to open here. But it wasn't that bad. It was an okay game, but it was kind of messy. Merchants of Amsterdam. So there's like a new version of Merchants of Andromeda coming out or has come out. So I played Merchants of Amsterdam. I thought I would like it more, but it's kind of exhausting to do the reverse auction, the Dutch auction where the timer is ticking down. It leads to a payout, which is just kind of like matching icons. It didn't even really feel like a Knizia game, honestly. Yeah, those are some of the ones that stood out that weren't as hot. But I will say this, Knizia, even at his worst, it's still like interesting to experiment with. And then at its best, he has some of my favorite games. So I'm happy that I went on this Knizia journey in 25. And then the last one I had noted for us, which is a shared one, was buying no new games and pledging for no new Kickstarters. And
one exception.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't complete this, but we only broke it once, and we broke it in a mutual agreement. So Hub World Eidolon was announced and went up on crowdfunding this year. And so Tom and I both backed Hub World Eidolon. But outside of that, where we were like, this is a iteration upon one of our favorite games of all time, and we want to make sure that we have it when it ships. Outside of that, we were pretty good, right? Did you break this at all?
No, not that I can think. I mean, definitely didn't back any Kickstarters other than Eidolon. I mean, come on. It's like we just have so much trust foundationally in the people behind Eidolon and literally got to play the game pretty much
Yeah,
for
that's
free.
the other thing. Yeah, we were able to play those demo decks, so we knew after playing it that it was solid. So I think it was a very conscious decision. We definitely broke our resolution, but it's a break I'm willing to do.
And what are resolutions for other than to be broken? Am I right?
Are you just preparing the audience right now?
Right. I'm pretty confident, though, that I only received games in shrink from other people as gifts.
Yep, same. Yeah. I did not purchase any games in shrink, and I didn't back anything else.
Great job. I'll probably carry this one through this year, more or less. I don't think I'm going to like hold myself to it, because I do think there was like at least one or two moments where I would have liked to just walk out with something. But generally, this has kind of helped me just put the idea in my head that I should look to geek market first, like eBay, something, because almost always someone has copies, and half the time you're buying used copies that are listed as like new, and they're literally unpunched. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Like the kind of things people are just giving away used. And it's like, why? And to me, almost, it's like, it's not even about the reduction in cost as much as the fact that there's an unloved game that needs to get the tokens punched out of the board.
It's about giving that unloved game a new home. I agree.
Exactly. It's literally like adopting an animal.
Yeah, I think the exception in terms of getting access to them would be games that have just come out. But in those cases, it's almost better to wait, because we're in a fortunate position where I feel like when a new game comes out, somebody in our group or somebody in Wednesday game night has a copy of it. And so we're able to try out those new games anyway. And it allows us to be a little bit more conservative about like, do we really want to back this? Do we really want to purchase this new game that just came out? We can sample it before, get that experience, and then when things have cooled off, if we're really still feeling that craving for it, then we can buy a used copy.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I don't even necessarily vibe with that, really. Like, people always have like the new shit at the game nights, and there have been some where I'm like, oh, I'm interested in trying that out, but there's still so much, at least for me, and it's different for you, I think, that is still unexplored. I mean, I haven't even made it through your list myself.
Yeah, that's a fair point. There's a lot that still needs to be played that is just people have forgotten about it because they're focused on the latest thing.
There's literally 700 Knizia games, so like it'll take you a while at least.
Tom, your exclusive list. So you want to remind people about what you did?
Yeah, so I made a bingo card. I ultimately did not get any bingos, I don't think.
I'm so surprised, Tom.
Yeah. However, I did get like one short of a bingo, and
okay.
So I'll kind of go over it. But of course, huge meme last year was that I was going to play like 4 different games 100 times. I definitely started out strong early in the year, and for a variety of reasons, I just slowed down. Really, I noticed I slowed down on playing games almost completely in the latter third of the year. The main reasons that this happened in retrospect was that I was taking on work outside of work. And also I did actually get a new job last year. Things changed for me that changed the amount of free time that I had pretty significantly. And I kind of didn't account for how significant the change was, and sort of how much work, of course, I was lining up for myself, even beyond like the work that I was or wasn't doing, and on top of being in school, online, stuff like that. So it's like, I have excuses. I don't think I acted unreasonably, but even when we reduced the goal to just 25 plays of each of these games, we didn't get there. Although I think I've logged close to 25 games of Brass in my lifetime total.
Yeah, you got
so
pretty
at least
close.
There's that.
I do love that it was like 100 plays total, then 25 this year, and then if you do the math, it's like 25 almost.
Yeah. Yeah. We really came short. But you know, it's crazy because just this week, actually, I found an article. I don't know if you've heard of these. They're called SMART goals. It's like a little acronym.
Yeah.
The one I was reading was like super massive and really difficult to do. That's what SMART stands for. That was what I was doing last year. So I'll do your acronym this year, I think.
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-based. Those are the,
I did make soup stock from scratch. I sliced up a chicken and threw all the junk in a pot and boiled it.
That one, it feels like a realistic goal.
Yeah.
Versus 100 plays of brass. Well,
if I had played no other games, I would have had a really easy time with the 100 brass. But we'll hit 100 total brass sometime sooner than later. I 100%ed Bellatro.
Wow.
And I did read 5 nonfiction books and run a 5K. So I don't think I hit the things that were like kind of on the dumber end of the bingo card, but the things that are like good for my health and my family, I do think those got prioritized appropriately.
Yeah, if we're reflecting on this, I feel like the ones that were reasonable, but things you want to do are the ones you finished. So that's a good thing to keep in mind for next year.
I think you're going to sign off on next year's.
You got quite a bit of it done, like looking at it. So, I mean, I think there is something here, and I think this formula works. I think it's more just setting the expectations, calibrating the numbers, which it sounds like you did for this year.
That's what I'm saying, is that like the ambition has been met by recognition of my actual abilities, perhaps.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We'll see.
Shall we jump to this year?
Yeah.
So I was reflecting on what I feel like are things that I can grow on from a board gaming perspective. I'm not going to go into the personal resolutions just because I don't roll like that as much, but I want to judge things less quickly and replay them more. I definitely feel like I get a deserved reputation of being like, played that, it sucked, or played that, it's great. And that came to the forefront with Ginkgopolis. And so this is me setting an expectation for myself that I am not going to be so quick to judge. It's not to say that I can't do that. I think I get it, but I really need to give games a chance to breathe. Also qualify my judgments based on how much I've played them. Just play them a little bit more to give them a chance. The next thing I want to do, and this is kind of in the spirit of what I just said, is increase my H index. So for those who aren't familiar, the H index is the number of games that you've played for that number of times. So for example, my H index is currently 13, which means there are 13 games that I've played at least 13 times as far as logged plays on BGG. Unfortunately, I can't have like an accurate read on all time because I only started logging my plays a year and a half ago. But 13 is the current number. And so the goal is for me to get that number 13 up to 20, which means having played 20 games at least 20 times. So I'll be looking at some of the games that I've played a decent amount that I want to play more and get those numbers up to 20. And hopefully I can do that by the end of the year. It's going to take me like at least 100, if not more, plays of games to get there. So there's quite a bit that I need to do. This isn't going to be easy. So I'm being a little bit more ambitious with my goals this year. I want to bring my collection down. I want to keep it at a flat 150. I don't think this one's going to be very hard. I'm at 157 currently, and I've already had 3 people that I've called dibs on some games that I'm trying to get rid of. So I think we'll be good on this front. But the goal is to keep it at 150 and not purchase a new game without freeing up space for it. So like you, I'm going to try to stick to mostly buying used. I'm not going to hold myself to it, but at a minimum, I'm going to hold myself to keep the collection at a good 150 because I really like having that approach of like only having what you need kind of thing. And then starting to really question if you need something.
Yeah, 150 is already kind of like an abundance of games.
Exactly, yeah. I think 150 is a pretty big number. So I think I can definitely manage with just 150 and it'll allow me to scrutinize my collection a little bit more.
I should probably kind of check where my numbers are at. Speaking of which, I'd be curious.
Yeah. Lastly, I want to do some more solo journal RPGing. I've been doing a little bit of it recently, just with some PDFs of some like indie projects and enjoying it quite a bit, but I haven't played like the ones, I want to play like 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. That's just a part of the hobby that I haven't really explored. And so I want to give it a little bit more of a shot. So if you have any recommendations on really good solo journal RPGs, let me know because that's going to be something I'm eyeing in the new year. Tom,
Nice.
What you got?
I came up with another bingo card. I went with two things. One thing that's kind of funny is last year I had this objective of reading 5 nonfiction books. I cleared that even easier than I thought I would. I don't read that much, but audiobooks are basically the lifesaver here. One of those that I listen to is Atomic Habits. I know it kind of gets like over-repped as like a life-changing book or whatever, but there is a main idea in there where he says if you can just increase what you do by 1%, whether it's every day, every year, or whatever, that stacks up basically, to exponential growth essentially. And so I'm trying to do a 1% approach this time around and genuinely like tone down the insanity goals and not all of these I think will be achievable, but I think all of these are possible. There are 25 items on this, so I can't really dig into all of them. I'll try to just explain the board game related ones. The rest of them should hopefully be self-explanatory. Number 1, acquire a Steam Deck. Host at least one big, all of my friends are invited party. Save $20,000 that isn't invested in 401. This is a board game related one. I need to beat a friend of ours, his name's Ian, at a game of Twilight Struggle.
Yeah, you talked about that last week, yeah.
Yeah, this might be one of the hardest ones to achieve.
Yeah, I agree.
The next one is 50 new and shelf-stable games. So new to me, and they are shelf-stable, so they can be talked about on this show. And I thought 50 is a good number because it's slightly less than like one a week. And I think with some intentionality, this should be very doable. I want this to be more than just like super light card game filler games that I just pile on early in the year and call it good. I kind of want it to be sort of integral to the show. Maybe I'm running through your list a little bit. Like I'm picking a list of games that I'm overdue for generally. That's the mindset here.
I think this is a little ambitious, but I think it's fair given that it's so tied to what we do here. So it's okay to have a really ambitious one that's kind of like, I should be doing this kind of thing.
Yeah, call it like a work goal.
Yeah.
Right. All right, so this next one is in the line with the 1% increase. Read 12 non-manga books. Watch 15 specific movies. Next one, this one's related to the show. I want to finish characteristics of games. And I think this should be doable, but I do kind of think we're going to have to compress more than one chapter into an episode.
Yeah, I think this will be pretty easy.
It's not a very long book overall, but I don't want people to feel super bored by those episodes. If you're out there and you're listening to this, tell us if you actually found those episodes super interesting or if, book club, not the vibe. The next one's also related to the show. I really want to create a Family Feud episode of Shelf Stable. I have big plans. I have a list of questions I think are really good questions, but I can't talk about it too much because I'm going to try and keep them a surprise for Kenny, and I'll be the Steve Harvey.
Appendages you wouldn't want to get stuck in a board game box.
Board games that have stood the test of time. All right, and then this next one is board game related in a weird way. So I talked about this in the last month or so, and you probably saw this coming, but I'm going to try my luck, as it were, in poker. There are ways to play it legally online and not too far outside of where we live. I think it's honestly very doable for me with some rigor and study to hit $1,000 in net earnings from poker. I think I can do that. And if I can't do that, then I'll quit forever, probably. That's the idea, right?
All right.
What do you think about this one?
I think this is a bad one. I think you shouldn't put this as a goal.
I think you're underestimating the difficulty of this achievement.
No. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm saying that even without this as a goal, you'll be working toward it.
Well, okay, there's 25 fucking items. Some of these just got to get filled in with like semi-freebies, you know?
Right, that's fine.
And there's no guarantees, that I actually make this unless I get good relatively quickly. So the next one is I need to create my own Plex Media server. I'm canceling all the subscriptions. Fuck subscriptions. We're going back to hard disks. Play 5 Lacerdas. Lacerda is like an underglazed designer on this show in general, and I have been sleeping for too long on too many of his games, and I want to correct that this year.
Okay.
Next one, this is probably too much of a freebie. This is the one that I think might need to just be changed in order to be fair to myself.
I think it's fine. It's in the middle. Yeah.
Okay. It's Play Shikoku.
1889.
1889, yeah. You talk about this game a bazillion times. It sounds very interesting to me. I got to try it out. Giving myself a whole year to get to it. Okay, so December 31st, here we come. And I want to host poker tournaments just for funsies with friends. Maybe a gift card is kind of the top prize. All right, 1 month, no fast food. Next one, I have the fabric, I have the material. I need to actually sew these custom samurai bags just for drawing the tiles out of.
That's a good one.
So I can enjoy my copy of Samurai even more. Next, there are 5 specific TV shows that me and Helena both want to watch. I still want to do this, which is I know how to make websites. I want to make a website for shelfstable.com so we aren't just relying on the boilerplate site. I think we can do something interesting. Next one, same as you, actually. I want a H index of 10. So I want to hit the 10 by 10 goal, essentially. 10 games, 10 times. Minimum. I think I could probably do better even than this, but
so mine is like counting all time. Are you doing just for the year?
Yeah, like 10 games.
So you're doing the 10 by 10
this
challenge.
Year.
Okay,
exactly. I'm doing a 10
little
by
bit
10
different.
challenge.
Yeah,
I think it's very achievable.
Yeah, I think it's
given
reasonable.
The stats that I had, and I tend to like games that are like short, light. I carry them with me everywhere. Right?
Yeah.
It's just about repping on the table. Next one, unfortunately, another carryover from last year, but we are doing it this time. I have 6 classes left to get my bachelor's degree. That is happening. I want to beat Metroid Prime 4 before the year is up.
You're probably better off playing a different game, in my opinion. And then this is coming from a Metroid Prime fan, but
you really don't like it. You've been playing it.
I still liked it, but I would rather play any of the other ones before it.
All right, well, you know what? I'll slightly change this one on the fly here. Be either Prime 4 or Prime Remastered.
Prime Remastered all day. That's one of the best Metroid games.
I know, everyone says that. Next one is play a role-playing game one-shot. I think I'm sort of
it's doable.
Underexperiencing what role-playing games have to offer, and I think I'm just at a point where I'm more interested in what they can do. I need more arm strength. I'm just really feeling it lately.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to curl 35 pounds 20 times. So I have to kind of actually test myself a little bit, figure out the baseline. The numbers might have to change a tad.
It'd be funny if you had really big arms and no strength.
Nothing else, yeah. Next one, I ran 1 5K last year. We're going to run 2 this year, I think. Or a 10K, one or the other. Same difference, right?
Yep.
And then lastly, this one's a weird one, but I keep failing to actually utilize my 1 free night that I almost always earn on my Hilton, points card. I specifically want to use this on one of those hotels in Vegas that are like $400, $500 a night, and get like the most out of it. It'll go hand in hand with the poker plans.
Are you going to play Gloomhaven as part of your new to me games?
On this list, I had Gloomhaven as like a 10x, as in it's part of the 10 by 10.
Oh, well, yeah, just do that. Just make it one of your 10 by 10s. If you do 10 sessions of Gloomhaven, you've played enough Gloomhaven, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Right. First step to playing Gloomhaven, figure out how to play Gloomhaven.
So overall, I definitely agree with you. These are much more reasonable goals than last year. I think it's generally better to start easy and add more stuff if you finish them than to make unachievable goals and then just not even try them.
So in like July, I'll be like, new bingo card alert.
Yeah, exactly.
We cleared the old one.
And that way you can calibrate upwards instead of down. Shall we change pace here and go to the pantry? For those who aren't familiar, and we'll talk about the name in a second, this is a list that we put together at the beginning of 2025 of games that Tom and Kenny highly regard. They get talked about quite a bit on the podcast. It's not necessarily a best of. It's not our top games. It's just kind of the ones that we've curated as being like the games if you really think about Shelf Stable.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
So we're going to revisit it, see if anything dropped off or changed, and then see if we need to add anything. The name. So you like Pantry-on, which still doesn't make sense to me. I like the pantry.
I don't know how it doesn't make sense. It's a pantheon that's also a pantry. I get that we're playing into the shelf thing, but...
I mean, the problem with it is it sounds like Patreon.
I know.
Which
they really
gets
fucked us with
confusing.
that one. Yeah.
So it's up to you.
I'm not necessarily like sold on Pantry, but just calling it like the Pantry, I feel like it just lacks like swag.
Do you have another idea?
Swagless. No.
Maybe this is one we open up to listeners.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the list. What I feel like we should call this like the shelf of glory, something stupid like that. Even would feel better than Pantry. Shelf of stability.
The shelf of stability.
Something like
that. I'm okay with that.
We'll workshop it. We'll keep working on it.
Let's speed run through. Netrunner stays.
Yep.
Bonanza stays.
It's loose, but I respect it.
Let's keep it. Brass Lancashire stays for sure.
It's stuck hard.
Dominion, you're cool. I mean, obviously, I want it to stay.
I'll allow it. I feel like I'm just not playing Dominion lately. Like, and I don't.
It was my most played game of 25.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just funny because I feel like it doesn't get brought up, weirdly enough, other than in the context of other.
Yeah, we bring it up in the context of other deck builders.
That's like saying like you talk about Mount Fuji and Japanese art,
For
sale. I still love this game. It's just like
I think this is really solid. It's our only auction game too, so. Hanami Koji. This is I think we were overglazing it a little bit. This is the first one where I'm like, do we keep Hanami Koji?
Here's my hot take. We have Hanami Koji followed by Jaipur. I think Jaipur's got to go, and Hanami Koji basically takes its spot.
I agree. Jaipur has to go, especially with you cooling on it quite a bit. But I'm like, do we also take Hanami Koji out?
Not quite yet.
Okay, so we'll keep Hanami Koji.
Mandala might clear it. It has.
Yeah, maybe
potential.
when we talk about Mandala, we'll see if it replaces Hanami Koji. So minus Jaipur for sure. And then we'll see about Hanami Koji. Jungle Speed. So the only thing with Jungle Speed is like, you really like Anomia. Should we replace this with Anomia? I still think Jungle Speed is the pick here. Fastest way to break a finger. It's funny that's the comment.
No, Jungle Speed it clears.
Okay, yeah,
Anomia,
Jungle Speed stays. Love Letter feels weird here.
Yeah.
I almost would rather have No Thanks.
I you know why? It's because of like the hipster gene.
Yeah.
Like you gotta,
So take Love Letter out?
Yeah, but I don't know. Again, I don't know if No Thanks is really quite it. There's something else. I mean, I'd almost say Llama or something for this weight of game.
Okay. Take Love Letter out. We'll decide what gets replaced. Monopoly Deal. I don't think this ever can come off, even if we don't think it should be on here anymore. Okay.
It's a game made of pure gold. So
yeah, it's a game that just for the sheer amount of like molding it causes, we should keep it on the list.
Yeah.
Pan Am. I could go either way. I kind of want to keep it.
I think I want this one to be in my 10 buy for the year.
Yeah. Let's keep Pan Am.
There is something about this that I think is just like, it's one of those where you think about it and you're like, meh, but then you play it and you're like, oh.
It's also a game that like not a lot of people are glazing. So it's kind of like a shelf stable take, So I'm kind of like, we should keep it there for that too. Yeah. So a lot of these other ones, like people already are like, these are amazing. So Liar's Dice.
I feel like Texas Hold'em has to take its spot.
I'm not as hot on Texas Hold'em as you, and the list is like things we both agree on.
I know, but Liar's Dice, I'm like, it's fun and funny every time, but like, I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know that this is like the shelfiest game of all time.
I'm okay with just taking it off, but I don't want Texas Hold'em on.
That's fine.
Because like I'm not vouching for any games where I know that you're not as hot on them. So similarly, I don't want to like bring on a game where I'm like not super hot on it.
We have to find a version of poker that you like.
Okay, let's just take off Liar's Dice and figure out if something else comes on. Yeah. Race for the Galaxy.
That's locked in.
Easy stay.
For sure. Snap Keep.
Scout. I think Scout becomes Seas of
The
Strife.
hold is weakening. I was going to say, yeah, that's actually, we'll see of Strife this year.
Let's keep Scout for now. I think it's earned its spot. T&E, Tigris and Euphrates.
I'm like mid on this anymore.
It was one of your top 3 last year.
Oh, really?
That's crazy.
I just think Knizia has more refined games that are doing a lot of the same stuff. No shade at T&E at all.
Okay. So Jaipur's coming off, Love Letter's coming off, Liar's Dice is coming off, T&E is coming off. I'm okay with that. Games considered last year. Bus. Nah, I don't think so. I really wish we could have played that game the other night, but people were super burnt out, so we had to call it.
I think Bus is considerable, but it's not anywhere close. It's not meme enough in a way.
I think we keep it on the consider list.
Yeah.
Camelot? Nah.
I think it almost falls off the consider.
Yeah. Castles? No. Castle Burgundy is not a consider, in my opinion.
I'm still considering it, but I respect your take.
We put it here for me to like play it again, and I did play it again with Taylor, and I was like, yeah, it's good, but it's not like a juicy Mamma Mia, Imperial Settlers? No, I think this has dropped off. Irish Gauge. Interesting.
Yeah, I think this goes in, personally.
I would say so too. I think Irish Gauge makes it in. So let's tentatively say yes. Wonderful World. I think the only reason it didn't make it in is because you hadn't played it enough.
You know what? Let me try to play this one like 5 times this year, and then
we'll keep it on the consider.
I'm a little worried about the long-term depth of replayability.
Oh, like it's
with that
samey or something.
Yeah, like I could almost imagine playing this every week, 5 weeks in a row. Or by week 5, are you like, oh, like I can't wait, or are you like, oh,
I see,
yeah.
Just One,
Yeah, it's so close.
Cooled. Like, it's cooled.
It's just the thing is, like, it's a really good word association party game.
We don't have any party games. I mean, Jungle Speed, I guess.
It's close. It's very close. But Monikers, I think, actually clears it. Now that I'm thinking about it.
You want to do Monikers? Because I would be down for Monikers. I just thought you didn't want to do it.
Oh, no. Monikers is like the life of the party.
Okay, let's do Monikers then. Motai and I.
I'll allow it.
You did play 17 games of it last year.
The funny thing is, so the people that I played this with, where they were playing it for the first time, I finally got to like see my skill edge, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
I wasn't sure on this game because I was just like, it just feels lol so random because I lose every time, so therefore it's random.
Yeah.
But then it was like playing it against people that had not really played it as much. It was clear that I'd learned something, so it had something going on.
Yeah. Take 5. I'm going to veto this. The more I play this game, the more I'm like, there's nothing actually happening. It's still fun. It's like a fun activity, but like, I'm not really convinced it has as much skill as we thought it did. By all means, it's still a good game. I'm just like, I don't think it's part of this list.
I don't know, though. Really, the biggest issue with Take 5 is playing it over the board is a bit cumbersome.
Yeah, but even online, I just feel like it's an activity. It's like, it's almost in roll and write territory.
I don't agree with you on that, but I don't think it makes it into the list.
It doesn't have the same level of oomph as like For Sale or No Thanks, for example.
The irony is I actually think there's a bigger like skill gap in Take 5 than For Sale, from my experience. And admittedly, it's not like backed by data necessarily.
Okay.
I'd have to see like the ELO spread on BGA, but like I feel like I've been consistently outwitted at Take 5, whereas like For Sale, I feel like can be relatively swingy.
Through the Desert. So here's my hot take. I know you're going to want Samurai on, and we're taking T&E off. I feel like you're very much in the Samurai camp. I'm in the T&E camp, but we both like Through the Desert. So Through the Desert is the pick here.
I just think that means you need to play more Samurai, but
I'd be okay to put Samurai in consider. I'm not quite there with Samurai yet.
Okay.
Through Desert. Okay. Yokohama.
This is close.
I think we need to play it again.
Yeah. This just needs to be at the top of like play it again list.
I'm pretty sure we said the same thing last year. We're like, we need to play Yokohama more before we...
And then we just didn't play it at all.
We just
like,
didn't
I don't
play
think
it.
I played it once.
Oh, we gotta play Yokohama. Jeez.
For real.
I'm gonna update it to want to play. It's so good. I don't know why we're not playing it.
Yeah, it just really is. Like,
do you have any that we haven't talked about that you think might make it?
Well, Samurai, of course. I mean, we briefly mentioned it.
Yeah.
And Mandala.
Mandala.
Those are
Mandala.
easy.
I think Mandala can make it in. I think it would replace Hanami Koji. But maybe we need to play it more.
I do also think Hey, That's My Fish is like good.
Yeah. Do we put That's My Fish in? I'd be okay with it. I mean, I love that game.
We could put, I think we're taking some of the stuff off. So I think Hey, That's My Fish can move in.
Fish.
Flip 7. I mean, it's the greatest card game of all time.
Holy shit. If we put Flip 7 on, I quit.
Trolling. It's kind of, I think we said it, like Seas of Strife is like at the top of the consideration range. Yeah, I don't really have anything actually looking through from last year where it's like, that's clearly a contender.
Okay. So we're losing 4 games. T&E, Love Letter, Liar's Dice, Jaipur. We're adding 5 games. Monikers, Matainai, Through the Desert, That's My Fish, Irish Gauge. Oh, Crokinole.
I'm not...
Consider?
It's close. It's considering.
All right. Well, we'll update the list and post the link in the show description. How does that sound? I think that's a pretty solid list, though. Right? I feel like all the games we're adding are justified.
Yeah.
Any closing words? Any thoughts about board games, Tom?
They stay pretty good.
Yeah, board games are pretty fun. I'm glad that we're doing a podcast about them.
Same.
Here's to another year. Happy New Year, my dude.
Same to you, my guy. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for this week. That's going to do it for 2025. Thank you so much to everyone who listened to us this year. Honestly, literally, where would we be without our fans? We would just be like recording this in our basement and then releasing it so that our girlfriends begrudgingly listen to it. You listeners out there are the people that help our friends and family suffer less. You're listening to us so they don't have to listen to us. I want to say thank you to Michael, Tyler, Devon, and Josh, the Boise RainBeaus, for your cool segue music. And thank you to Bonehouse for letting us use your song Rot as our opening theme.
If you're loving the cast, share it with a friend or on Reddit or on BGG. You can also reach out directly at shelfstablecast@gmail.com. All this and more available in the show notes. And if you like what we're doing and want to make more of it happen, consider subscribing to us on Patreon. You'll get access to bonus content and Discord. And for just $1, you can hop on, yell at us, and then unsubscribe. It's always an option.
There you go.
Tom, do you have an idea for next week?
Next week, Kenny, I think it's time we finally get at this. We talk about what it means to be crunchy. What the fuck does that even mean?
Bye.